Yo, welcome to Stay Wavy TV, your home for buckets, breakdowns, and straight up vibes. If it hoops, we cover it. Lock in, hit that subscribe, and ride the wave.
Draymond Green crashes out on his Golden State Warrior teammates after they get blowed out by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Ironically, though, Draymond Green only scored 3 points. How do you score 3 points and you calling out your teammates for not being committed to winning when you only had 3 points the entire game? You got 4 quarters in the game, you had 3 points, right? And let's be honest, guys. Draymond Green is not the same defensive player that he used to be a couple years ago. He can no longer defend centers, right? Like, we seen the last time the Golden State Warriors won the championship, we actually saw Draymond Green shut down Nikola Jokic on defense, right? The Golden State Warriors just played the Denver Nuggets this week. They got blowed out, okay? Last night they played the Oklahoma City Thunder. Draymond Green tried to guard Chet Holmgren. They got blowed out again, okay? Draymond Green is no longer the physically defensive player that he used to be because he's old. Draymond Green is almost 40 years old, right? And this Golden State Warriors team as a whole, they got old players. Jimmy Butler's 35, Steph Curry's 38, Draymond Green's 37. Okay, when you're going up against these younger teams like the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're going to give you problems. And, you know, listen, I understand that Draymond Green is a leader of this team. I do respect Draymond Green as a leader. I think he's a good leader. But at the end of the day, bro, you have to call yourself out as well. You got to hold yourself accountable for not playing good defense and only having 3 points the entire game. You know, and you know what's crazy? Nobody on this Warriors team last night had 20 points. Not even Steph Curry. Nobody on this team even scored 20 points against the Oklahoma City Thunder, which shows that the Oklahoma City Thunder's defense gave the Warriors a whole bunch of problems in that game last night. You understand what I'm saying? So, Draymond Green, right? There's rumors going around that Draymond Green could potentially get traded. I don't think that's going to end up happening. Draymond Green will stay with the Warriors. I don't see him getting traded, not at least this season. They need I'm not going to say don't need Draymond Green, but they do need Draymond Green because if Draymond Green gets traded, then who's the leader of this team? You know, is it going to be Steph Curry? Is Steph Curry going to be the guy that's holding people accountable? And nah, Draymond Green is the loudmouth dude that crashes out and screams and, you know, like he'll curse you out. You see what he did to Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant got out of line. He called Kevin Durant all types of names and caused him to leave the following year. So let's get into this article from Sports Illustrated. It says Draymond Green didn't hold back in his post-game media session following the Golden State Warriors blowout loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder on Tuesday. When asked what's the biggest difference between how the Warriors were playing down the stretch last season and how they started this season, Green said, "I think everybody was committed to winning and doing that any way possible. Right now, it doesn't feel that way." Green continued, "I think everyone has a personal agenda in this league, but you have to make the personal agenda work in the team's confines. If it doesn't work, you kind of got to get rid of your agenda, or eventually the agenda is the cause of someone getting moved." We can't know for sure who this quote is about, but ESPN's Anthony Slater gave us a hint with this passage. When the term agenda enters the mix, the attention tends to shift towards two of the Warriors' youngest core members who have been outspoken about their desire for more: third guard Brandon Podziemski and fifth-year forward Jonathan Kuminga. And this is why Jonathan Kuminga was benched for a majority of the playoffs last year, because he was ball hogging. He was not passing the ball to Steph Curry when Steph Curry needed the ball in his hand. So because of that, head coach Steve Kerr ended up benching Jonathan Kuminga and barely playing him at all until Steph Curry got injured. That's when Jonathan Kuminga stepped in and averaged close to 20 points per game. He outplayed Jimmy Butler, who last year got a $100 million contract extension from the Golden State Warriors, which I think is crazy. Giving somebody that's 35 that was playing as bad as Jimmy Butler was last year on the Miami Heat, giving him an $100 million plus contract extension, pure criminal, bro. Shout out to Jimmy Butler for, you know, cashing out, but I don't think he's worth that. I just don't. I'm sorry, bro. No disrespect to Jimmy Butler. I know that you brought the Miami Heat to 2 NBA Finals, bro. But at that age, and it's obvious Jimmy Butler has slowed down a little bit. I'm not saying he's washed, but they overpaid him, okay? Now, Brandon Podziemski is horrible, bro. Horrible. Ever since last season, Podziemski, who used to be a decent three-point shooter, he has become an atrocious three-point shooter, bro. Like, He's playing even worse than Klay Thompson was his final years on the Golden State Warriors, bro. Like Podziemski, he could not make a three-pointer to save his life. I've seen plays where Podziemski is literally wide open. Nobody's even guarding him, and he's bricking threes. Like he's bricking threes like Russell Westbrook was when he was on the Los Angeles Lakers. And at this point, why is Steve Kerr giving Podziemski so many minutes? Why is Podziemski in the starting lineup sometimes? This guy should be on the bench. He should get no more than 5 to 10 minutes a game, and he just has to work on improving his game, bro. Podziemski, if you're shooting threes and you're not making them game after game after game, at some point, bro, you should be driving to the basket. You should be trying to get to that free throw line. You should be, make some layups, shoot some floaters, shoot some mid-range jumpers. You're not a good three-point shooter, brother. You are not a good three-point shooter. And your teammate is the greatest three-point shooter of all time. Why don't you work with Steph Curry to improve your three-point shooting, bro? I don't understand. And you can't trade Podziemski because he's ass. Like, think about this, guys. Podziemski, I think he's only making like $5 million a year or something like that. I think the following year he's supposed to make $10 million a year. Nobody's gonna make a trade for Podziemski. The only way somebody would take Podziemski on their team is if Jonathan Kuminga is included. You understand what I'm saying? And if you're the Golden State Warriors, do you really want to trade Jonathan Kuminga, who's in his early to mid-20s, and you're still stuck with a team that has a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler, a 42-year-old Al Horford? By the way, Al Horford has not been playing good this season, bro. Al Horford looks like he should have just went ahead and retired. And that's what he was thinking about doing. But Al Horford has not been playing well for this Warriors team, bro. He just hasn't. Okay, it kind of reminds me of when Al Horford went to the OKC Thunder and he almost got kicked out of the league. You guys remember that? You guys remember when Al Horford went to the OKC Thunder and he was playing like dog shit, and he ended up just getting out of the league before the Boston Celtics picked him up? That's how he's playing again right now, the Golden State Warriors. It's sad to see, bro. It is sad to see. But yeah, man, Podziemski is just terrible, bro. Like, you got to feel bad for the Golden State Warriors fans just seeing a guy like that on your team, man. But the Golden State Warriors, man, I think they should try to trade Jimmy Butler before they trade Jonathan Kuminga. I know it's going to be harder because of Jimmy Butler's contract, but if you lose Jonathan Kuminga, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass, okay? Let's be honest. The Warriors haven't been the same since they traded Jordan Poole. That's what really caused all of these problems. Draymond Green getting into a fight with Jordan Poole. The Warriors picking a older Draymond Green over Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole and Steph Curry played very, very well together, bro. And ever since he left the team just hasn't been the same. So Kuminga got off to a brilliant start to the season, but he has had a brutal 2-game stretch entering Tuesday. He played better against Oklahoma City, but he still had 5 turnovers and struggled on the defensive end. Podziemski didn't stand out in a positive or negative way against the Thunder. In his post-game media session, Jimmy Butler also called out the team's lack of fight, especially on defense. Kuminga has been guilty of losing defensive focus throughout his career, though to be clear, the Warriors' current slump has as much to do with the veterans as anyone else. Green and Steph Curry had miserable performances Tuesday and haven't played consistently well since the first week of the year, but the Warriors front office is very unlikely to blow up the Green, Curry, and Butler veteran trio, which once again leaves Kuminga as the likely odd man out. Kuminga has signed a 2-year, $46.8 million contract with the team option for the second season. He's not eligible to be traded until January 15th of next year. Pods is just making $3.7 million this year, and he'll be making $5.7 next season. His salary on his own isn't big enough to facilitate the type of trade the Warriors will be looking for. So that, like I said, the only way they can get rid of Pods is if they include Jonathan Kuminga. That's the only way. Nobody's going to trade for Podziemski. In the meantime, Golden State will have to deal with the ramifications of this quote for at least the next 2 months. A trade feels as inevitable as ever. This kind of quote doesn't come out for teams that are planning on standing pat at the trade deadline. At 6-6, the Warriors are not yet in any major trouble in the standings, but if they don't stop the bleeding on this 6-game road trip, that could change quickly. Listen, I think these last 2 losses for the Warriors, they're bad, but they're against some of the best teams in the Western Conference, bro. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they just won a championship, right? They're the best team in the league. The game before they lost to the Denver Nuggets, 2 years ago, before the Boston Celtics won a championship, the Denver Nuggets won a championship. So you're going against two of the best teams in the league. You know, OKC has SGA, Chet Holmgren. The Denver Nuggets has Nikola Jokic, the best center in the league, arguably the best player in the league, top 3, top 2. You know what I'm saying? So the Golden State Warriors, they just need to focus on their guys scoring and playing defense, bro. Draymond Green is just unable to play good defense against centers like he used to. And if that's the case, the Warriors are going to have to sign a center that can play defense. You don't need a center that can necessarily score because you have enough scorers on the Golden State Warriors, but you do need a big man that can at least give these centers that they go up against some type of pressure and some type of difficulty when it comes to scoring. Because when they go up against teams like the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs, you got Victor Wembanyama on the San Antonio Spurs. He's like 7'4". The Warriors, they're probably gonna lose because they got nobody on the team that can guard these guys. So that's the problem, man. Draymond Green is older. He just can't guard centers anymore. Let's just call it what it is. He can guard the soft centers, the Rudy Goberts of the league, right? He can probably give Karl Anthony Towns some problems because, you know, Cat is soft, you know. But when he's going up against these physical centers, bro, like Chet Holmgren and Wemby and Nikola Jokic, bro, you know, a healthy Joel Embiid, he just doesn't stand a chance, bro. Let's just call it what it is, man. Maybe Draymond Green 3 or 4 years ago, he could do it, right? Because when you look at the last time that the Golden State Warriors won a championship, right? Draymond Green actually was locking down Nikola Jokic on defense. But you look at the game that happened this week against the Warriors and the Denver Nuggets, Draymond Green could not guard Nikola Jokic to save his life, bro. Nikola Jokic was absolutely cooking Draymond Green. And there was nothing that Draymond Green can do about it. You know, and if Draymond Green tries to get tough with Nikola Jokic, we seen Nikola Jokic, he got no problem squabbling, okay? He got no problem squabbling up. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. Like, if you get too rough with Nikola Jokic and you do some, like that cheap shot shit that Draymond did against Sabonis, I dare him to try that with Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic will put hands and feet on him, and Nikola Jokic's brothers in the audience, they have no problem running on that court, you know, defending their brother, bruh. So that's why you don't see Draymond Green getting too reckless with Nikola Jokic, because he knows Nikola Jokic don't play that. We all remember what he did to one of the Morris twins who was playing for the Miami Heat at the time. We remember. So, listen, the Golden State Warriors, it's a long season, right? They're only 12 games into this new season. I do not think that they should hit the panic button yet. But shout out to Draymond Green for being a good leader. I do think that it was necessary for him to make these statements in a press conference because he has to reassure his teammates that they have to be better. If they continue playing like this, what's going to end up happening is some major trades are going to happen, and they're not going to compete for a championship, especially if they're in the Western Conference. If this Golden State Warriors team was in the Eastern Conference, they damn near be guaranteed to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. But because they're in the West with such competitive teams like the Spurs, the Thunder, the Lakers, the Nuggets, right? That's why they're having so many problems, bro. They're just going up against teams in their own conference that are just elite. Let's just call it what it is, man. And this Warriors team, unfortunately, they're old. I keep saying this in my videos, man. These teams with the older stars like the Kevin Durant's and the James Hardens and the Kawhi Leonards and the LeBron Jameses of the league, bro. These guys aren't winning any more championships, bro. It's over. You know, unless they're on a team that's like filled with a bunch of young people, that's the only chance they got of competing for a championship. So with that being said, man, it's your boy Wavy, Stay Wavy TV. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up the video, share the video. It's your boy Wavy. I'm out.
Hey friends, I'm Riley and welcome to Stay Wavy TV. Here we share stories, tips, and vibes that keep life feeling fresh, positive, and a little more free. If you're into sunshine energy, easy laughter, and a community